I'm going to read to you an article published by Global Research on March 27th, 2020. The link to that article is in the notes below this video. This article, posted by author Julian Rose, is basically a copy-paste of a presentation from a medical forum. The original presenter, identified as a widely respected professional scientist in the U.S., prefers to stay anonymous, because presenting any facts or information which may be contrary to official narratives can cause negative consequences for any medical professional who discloses that information. I have edited the article for clarity without changing its meaning or implications. And I quote, "I work in the healthcare field. Here's the problem. We are testing people for general coronavirus, but we are not testing for any specific strain, such as COVID-19. There are no reliable tests for any specific COVID-19 virus. There are no reliable agencies or media outlets for reporting numbers of actual COVID-19 virus cases. This needs to be addressed first and foremost. Every action and reaction to COVID-19 is based on totally flawed data, and we simply cannot make accurate assessments. That is why you're hearing that most people with COVID-19 are showing nothing more than cold or flu-like symptoms. That's because most coronavirus strains are nothing more than cold or flu-like symptoms. There are a few actual novel coronaviruses, and those cases do have some worse respiratory responses, but still have a very promising recovery rate, especially for those with prior issues. The gold standard in testing for COVID-19, the one that could identify COVID-19, would use laboratory isolated and purified coronavirus particles, free from any contaminants and particles that look like viruses but are not, that have been proven to be the cause of the syndrome known as COVID-19, and obtained by using proper viral isolation methods and controls. But the type of testing being done, some of which are referred to as PCR, do not detect the virus as such. PCR tests, which stands for polymerase chain reaction, basically takes a sample of your cells and amplifies any DNA to look for viral sequences, such as bits of non-human DNA that seem to match parts of a known viral genome. The problem is the test is known to not work. It uses amplification, which means taking a very tiny amount of DNA and growing it exponentially in a laboratory until there is enough of it to be analyzed. Obviously, any minute contaminations in the sample will also be amplified, leading to potentially gross errors of discovery. Additionally, it's only looking for partial viral sequences, not whole genomes, so identifying a single pathogen is next to impossible, even if you ignore the other issues. The test kits being sent out to hospitals are totally inadequate and unprofessional. At best, those test kits tell analysts you have some viral DNA in your cells, which most of us do most of the time. It may tell you the viral sequence is related to a specific type of virus, say the huge family of coronavirus, but that's all. The idea these kits can isolate a specific virus like COVID-19 is complete nonsense. And that's not even getting into the other issue, viral load. If you remember, the PCR test works by amplifying the minute amounts of DNA. It is therefore useless at telling you how much virus you may have. And that's the only question that really matters when it comes to diagnosing illness. Everyone will have a few virus kicking around in their system at any time. Most will not cause illness because their quantities are too small. For a virus to sicken you, you need a lot of it, a massive amount of it. But PCR testing does not test viral load and therefore cannot determine if it is present in sufficient quantities to sicken you. If you feel sick and get a PCR test, any random virus DNA might be identified even if they aren't at all involved in your sickness, and this leads to false diagnosis.